Hello again, it's April here and welcome back to another video. Today I've got a collab video between me and Liz.V.Art. So the idea of the collab was that we each would make each other about 4 or 5 different clay pieces, and then we would send those shapes to each other and that other person would have to guess what the shape is or make up the shape themselves, like the idea in their head, and then paint it. So first thing is I was thinking about different shapes, and I honestly had no idea what I was going to do for these shapes. I'm just doing a whole bunch of different ideas here and hoping something comes to me. So I think I did a pizza shape, a rainbow, a cat, this weird, is that an hourglass? I don't even know. And then I was just trying to get some ideas in my head because I really had no idea what I was going to send to her. And while I was thinking about it, I rolled out my clay. So I'm using the Daz air dry clay here. It was my first time using it and I was actually really impressed with it because I've only ever used the Hobbycraft air dry clay before, and this had a lot nicer feel, it rolled out nicer, it was nicer to cut and polish. I don't know if it's because I haven't used clay for a long time, but I prefer it a lot better. So I basically just cut out the shapes with my X-Acto knife there, and I'm going in and smoothing all the sides out with a little bit of water. I decided to go for a kind of cat shape, a mushroom shape, a shape that could possibly be a rainbow is what I was thinking. This shape here that I'm sanding now, I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking it was a bird, but I'm not quite sure how it would be a bird without a beak. And then I also did a snail, which you might see in a second. So this is the mushroom that I'm sanding. So basically when I made the clay shapes, I just make sure it's quite smooth before it's even dry, and then go ahead and sand it after so it's nice and smooth. Pop them in a package and send them off to Liz. And now I'm going to be opening them, so I'll just let past April chat with you. I think this is the, okay, this is it. Alright, I wanted to get a reaction of me opening them. That looks like a ghost. It also could be an upside down ball of wobbly jelly. Oh, these are so tiny. I did mine a lot bigger. This is like an old 80s cell phone or an axe. This could either be a coffin for a short person, or a crystal, or one of those shakers that you use to make cocktails with. Alright, this one is either a skull or a mushroom, or an upside down mushroom. Obviously this is a rainbow, right? Or like the side of a dinosaur's head. I'm not sure, but these are all the shapes, so let's have a closer look at them. And next I think I'll do a couple of sketches in my sketchbook and we will figure out what we're going to paint on these. So the first thing I did to figure out what Liz's shapes were was to draw them out and make a little doodle. So I was some of these shapes are quite obvious, I think, what they are. The skull definitely looked like a skull, the coffin looked like a coffin. And I was talking to Martin about it and he was like, oh, it's like a little story. And we were making up a little story, the with the axe and the skull and the gravestone. You can probably figure out what the story is. So I got all of the clay shapes there from Liz, and now I'm just starting to paint them. So the only thing I didn't really know what I was going to do after the sketches was the colours, so I decided just to wing it as I go, and I think a lot of them are kind of greyish, pink, mauve, that kind of colour. I did go over a couple of them a few times because I couldn't quite get them right, which we'll definitely see as we go along. So the story that I was thinking for the shapes is that there was a man, let's call him Henry, and I actually was going to draw Henry on the skull, on one side I was going to draw his face, on the other side I was going to draw a skull, but I didn't in the end. I kind of forgot about it. So basically Henry gets murdered by an axe, by someone, probably a long lost cousin or an angered mailman, and he's dead. So obviously he's popped into the coffin and turns into a ghost. This is the ghost here that I'm doing, and I did not like how I first painted it, so I'm going over it. And this is the Coffin. This is actually my favorite one that turned out, just because I did the line art. I think I did it pretty well on here, and I'm not used to doing really skinny lines with the line art, so it was nice to like do it and actually see a good result. While me and Liz were painting these, we actually did a little art chat together. So we decided that while we were painting our clay shapes, we would have a chat with each other. And it was actually really fun because we both knew we were doing the same thing, but we couldn't talk about it. So normally if we have an art chat and we're doing art, we can talk about what we're drawing or painting. But this time it was all a secret, so we couldn't tell each other. And if you guys don't know who Liz from Liz.V.Art, I'll leave everything below and on the screen, but she's a really lovely person and artist. She's got a YouTube channel and Instagram, and she likes to draw plants and houses and things like that. So yeah, definitely check her out if you haven't before. And we're almost at the end of painting them. This video is quite short. I think Liz's is a bit longer, like double the length, but when I edited, I made it really short because I wasn't quite sure what I was going to talk about. Anyway, back to Henry. Henry's been killed by an angered mailman, and this is his gravestone here. So the gravestone is very colourful, probably the most colourful gravestone you will see. My idea was to have like flowers and leaves and stuff there. And you'll see all the shapes in a second, so the story should make sense. These are all the finished shapes. I haven't glossed them or anything. I probably will gloss them and turn them into magnets maybe. So there's Henry's skull on the bottom. He was killed by the axe on the top, went into the coffin, was buried underground, and now lives out his day as a ghost. Quite a happy ghost. And that was it. That's the end of the story. So now if you want, you can pop over to Liz and see her video and see my clay shapes. These are what I doodled before I sent them to her. I had this cute little mushroom, a little birdie, a cat, a rainbow, and of course a little snail at the bottom. I'm super interested to see what Liz did, so yeah, make sure you go check out her video as well. That is all for me today. Have a lovely rest of the week, and I will catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.